Hey YouTube, I have a confession for you guys. I think Eno is no longer low tier. So let's talk about why. So the changes that came out, I think benefit her more than a lot of people realize. There's the easy to explain ones, right? Like 2K, 2D, this works and the note's always meaty, that's godlike. This 6HS always combos, even on non-counter hit. Before you have to like micro walk and do all this janky stuff. So that's like quality of life change. That's amazing too. And then there's like other stuff like the JD has more hit stun. You can delay cancel into Fortissimo and you're a lot safer when you do JD on hit. All really good stuff. And I think that's all very obvious. But I kind of want to talk about a couple of different things that I think really change how Eno's played. One is the mobility. You know, obviously Eno can zoom around and that's great. And that makes sense in neutral, but I think there's some things that aren't quite obvious, right? The number one thing is that you get Oki from a lot of different situations. Because of her faster dash forward specifically, you can get a lot of Oki when you used to not be able to. So a really common anti situation is you'll do 6P and then 214K. And then the opponent, let's say you try to dash in, they could just 6P your dash in. So pre-patch, it used to look something like this. And then you just get hit, right? Well, actually, because of the faster dash speed, doing 6P Chemical of Anti-Air, I think it's actually a better option because you can get viable Oki from it, even mid-screen. See how you beat 6P now? And that would be any 6P in the game. And you see, it even works mid-screen now, which is really good. And so something that I've been playing around with that I think buffs her anti-air game a lot is you can do the option select. Like, Eno has these option selects where you can do like 6P stroke and then HCL, and then the HCL will only come out and counter hit. It makes her anti-air conversions a lot more consistent. On non-counter hit, you get this. And then on counter hit, you get that. And either option, the cool thing is you get Oki either way, which is really awesome. A couple other things you get Oki off of that you used to not be able to get Oki off of. So this OTG is a lot more viable now. Before, it was like one frame timing in order for it to safe jump, and then when you safe jump, you were like out here, so you didn't really get a good mix-up. Now, you can safe jump, and you can be right next to the opponent, which is super good. So it makes OTGing a lot better because you get more corner carry than your traditional mix-up. The other cool thing is, a lot of Eno players would do H dive kick in neutral a lot. Like, they would do something like this, and then like H dive kick, but you don't really need to do that now because you have so much more mobility. So there's not really much reason to TK dive kick when you can go something like this, or you could actually approach from the air with a hover dash, and it's pretty hard to react to. The other thing you can do is her air hover backdash is really fast. So instead of like just mashing backdash to get space, you can literally just hover backdash, and it's pretty sure it's faster than just mashing backdash. And so you can do stuff like fake out, and then this way you get space to actually do your note, which before is really hard to get the space to do note. And now she can just like fake going in, they whiff a button, you throw a note, now you have instant neutral. And if they start chasing you, you know, you always have your H dive kick to prevent the chase. I think H dive kick is still really good, but it's more of like if they're approaching you, right? Because you have to think H dive kick is unsafe, and if you're in this range, you want to be using S dive kick because it's safer, and typically you get better Oki. So it still has use, but you don't need to like TK dive kick as much because again, you have the mobility now to kind of fly in from a few different ways. The other thing I want to talk about that no one is talking about, this is a very common block string, right? I'll put the dummy on guard and you do something like this, right? And all right, your turn's basically ended. Well, the cool thing is now instead of doing JS into 6HS, you can do something like JS into 2K, which you could always do before, and you can go into 2D, but that doesn't really give you much damage or corner carry. Now you have a completely new option, which is JS 2K, hit confirm the 2K into 6HS. And you get very similar damage and way more corner carry, right? You get similar damage just to this. I think it does about the same thing. Actually might do a little more. You actually get OTG after this? Yeah, so it actually does a couple more damage, right? And on block, you don't need to commit to the 6HS, right? You can do pressure like this, and then mix up with the sweep. It basically means you have more turns on block now. And this works on everyone, not just Gold Lewis because he's big. The only character I found that has a little bit of trouble is actually an Eno mirror match, oddly enough, but everyone else it works perfectly fine. Yeah, it's a certain height of JS. It has to be deep enough. Like from like this, like from a 6HS it won't work. and if they're standing, it won't work. But I think this is what the future of Ino offense looks like, is doing stuff like that. And other than that, that's basically most of her changes. She does have a 5H change as well. On counter hit, you get more damage. I don't even know when to use it. And I don't see Daru use it at all. The one time that I think we're in agreement of when you can use it is on cat. Like, it's good for whiff punching now. Because before, you only really had this button. This goes a little bit further, even though it's a little slower. And you can get still pretty decent damage on a whiff punch too. So I think that's where it has. I know Daru likes to use against maze buttons because you have a little bit more range and you can snipe them out. So, but yeah, I think those changes just make a world difference. And I want to show you guys, I played a set against SQ, a very strong Ram player. And I want to go through a couple matches and show you all the places that these changes actually show up and why they make her such a stronger character. All right, guys, so what we're gonna do, I'm literally just gonna pull up a random match. This is not pre-scripted. And okay, this is kind of freaky with two Diaphones. I hope you guys are cool with that. Okay, that hover forward probably would not have been that close and I wouldn't have got the mix. Also, another thing, look at where the 2K 2D hits. If I did that last patch, I think the 2D would have whiffed. And if the 2D didn't whiff, this note would not have been meaty and they could have just jumped out. Now I get a mix. She respects. Okay, another change. That H stroke, I can't combo that 6HS pre-patch. Now I can combo it and look how much more damage I get from it. Delay cancel JD, another buff. She didn't fall for it. She thought it was H stroke, it whiffed, and you're dead. Yeah, so that was like literally 5 or 6 examples of the buffs come into play. They're quite good. I didn't talk about this, but the other reason I think that she's growing up in the tier list is because a nerf that other characters got. Ramlethal took a nerf to her JH, right? Pre-patch right here, that JH would not have traded. I would have got cleanly beat and I would have just lost the game. It's so crazy that these like small interactions change so much. I'm just going for standard pressure. That 2K2D would have not worked again. I go for re-jump pressure. Okay. I was doing some of the JS2K pressure I was talking about earlier in the video. All right, good blocking. That was a good 6P. I had a good read there. That 6HS would not have worked pre-patch. That mix-up where you go over them now is way easier. And also, like, doing the hop over mix-ups because their hover dash is quicker is way more viable, and it gives you like a lot of different good looks. The other thing is she has like a lot of different safe jumps too because of the hover dash change. I actually dropped the safe jumps that I found in the description below. Good mix-up by me. Yeah. JD being a lot safer. Good hit confirm. I go for pressure. Good block by her. I was just trying to stagger some lows. 6P. I was not afraid of 6P because the JH doesn't work. All right, looks like I win this match. Yes, I can confirm my bias. Ino's no longer low tier. But yeah, I hope you guys see like each round, it's like 4 or 5 interactions that all add up. And because Strive is so fast, like the buffs that they gave her add up a lot more than you think is what I'm trying to get out of this. And I hope you have a better idea of when to use her buffs as a result of this. Oh, one other thing I want to talk about. You know, Daru won his first tournament post-patch, right? And Daru, amazing player, he's been doing really well. Every single tournament I've entered post-patch, I've done really well in. I'm talking like stack tournaments like NLBC, Can Opener, TCS, Cloud Series, all really cool tournaments. Pretty much all had like over 100 people. I got second, third, fourth, second, third. The results are also showing the strength of Ino. And, you know, this last NLBC, you had 2 Inos in top 8. It's just kind of showing, again, the strength of the character. You know, it's not just me. There's other good Inos kind of mopping up, too. So yeah, guys, hope that made sense. I no longer think Ino's low tier. Honestly, I think she's like Milia, Zato tier, Giovanna tier. I think she's pretty good. Not top tier. I could have put that as a YouTube title. Probably would have got double the clicks. Is what it is. If you think Ino's top tier, let me know in the comments below. But yeah, seriously, guys, if you appreciate the content, consider like, sharing, and subscribing. Really helps out the channel. Thanks everyone and have a great day.